I'm Eric Singer, Gazette.com, and this is Between the Lines, the Waldo Canyon tragic anniversary 5 years later, and how much we all remember that in this community. Gazette reporter Jakob Rodger joining us. And what's interesting about your story, and we have several stories on the anniversary, is about mitigation efforts. Overall, what did you learn when you traveled with crews?
Yeah. So it was interesting. I mean, essentially, since the Waldo Canyon fire, we've seen a culture shift across the Pikes Peak region, is what a lot of mitigation experts say. A lot more residents here recognize the dangers that wildfire poses here. It isn't a what if; it's a reality now. After having seen the fire come out of Queens Canyon and into Mountain Shadows, so really, there's been quite a few more people actually, taking trees away from their houses, removing pine needles from their roofs, really trying to take those steps to create a defensible space around their houses. We've seen the number of communities involved in the city's wood chipping program nearly doubled or so. And we've, heading out with the mitigation crews, they talk about how a lot more houses appear to be doing much better with that. I mean, at the same token, though, they say there's a lot of work that remains to be done. One of the issues is that, I mean, they'll go to a house, they'll see that, yeah, they may have removed some shrubs from underneath the eaves or something like that, but there was one house we were at in Skyway that they did a good job with that, but there was still a cedar right next to the house. So, and there's still some resistance. There's still going to be some folks out there who kind of say that they want the trees around there. It's tough to see the trees being cut down, and so there's still work to be done. They say we haven't gotten as far as really we should be, although we have made great progress, is what they say.
And you went out in the field into Cedar Heights. Reaction?
Yeah, I mean, that was a community that really they came under under danger from Waldo the very first night, and they had been doing mitigation for quite a while. What they did was they took out a lot of the brush, they cleared a lot of the trees next to the National Forest, and so when the fire actually came towards that community, it was much easier for firefighters to actually defend it. And we saw that with no houses being damaged in the Waldo Canyon fire. We were out there just a few weeks ago, and that work has continued. I mean, they've obviously had a lot of scrub oak grow back. They've had a lot of undergrowth come back, and they've continued to kind of make sure that this community is always ready for it. It's been held up as an example from the Waldo Canyon fire of the power of mitigation, and they've really tried to keep that up. And a lot of mitigation experts say the lessons that people took from the Cedar Heights really should be applied elsewhere in the community, especially when we look at the dangers posed to southwest Colorado Springs, this area that firefighters have long talked about being the greatest risk for a catastrophic wildfire that really we haven't seen happen yet, but they say will.
All right, thank you very much, Jakob Rodger, who's been focusing on the Waldo Canyon tragic 5-year anniversary and lessons learned from that deadly fire. You could read his story in the Gazette and on Gazette.com. With Between the Lines, I'm Eric Singer, Gazette.com.